You can't call me a murderer. The boy isn't dead. Anymore. And, ladies and gentlemen, he wasn't my only child. Well, the other 4 are fine. That's an 80% success rate. And 80's an A. I got an A for fatherhood. And he was only dead for 2 hours and 46 minutes. So there's that. 20 minutes a pound. Medium rare. It's not like that I was his mother. I was late to the innings, barely warmed up, not had the training, the 9 months of coiled cord concord. I wasn't the star of the show. And that's all any of us want in the end. Oh, I've got one for you. How many Greek gods do you need to change a light bulb? Olive of them. I know. Not a fan. But more and more, everybody's offended by something. You can't start a joke with an Englishman, Scotsman and an Irishman because it's xenophobic. Nothing can be black and white and red all over because penguin lives matter. And gods forbid a Jew walks into a bar because it'll end up being a hate crime. When did people forget how to laugh? When did comics become the slide instead of the scope? I wanted to be a stand-up since I can remember remembering. All because of my father. And let me tell you, he didn't get 80%. He'd be lucky to scrape low 40s. I remember sitting at our kitchen table. His polished tales of yesteryear. Didn't matter if I'd heard them before. I knew every beat. I could trace every syllable like the curve of my knuckles. I swam in the laughter of the parlour, cigarette smoke spinning off their shoulders in ashen wreaths, the other men, his friends, demigods to me, leaning in over their congealed dinner plates, grins plastered, breath tied, eyes shining in whiskey over ice. I'd sit there at the altar and say a prayer to any god who might be listening. Funny men, well, they write their own tickets. Olympus is the limit, star of the show. And I took the well-worn route. Did a film studies degree not worth the gilt the student loans were printed on, then went out and bussed tables. I paid the dying dues in bars and clubs every night after closing my section, gigged all over the 7th Circuit of Hell, sharpening my tight 5, and waited, spear raised, for those nights you hear about. The talent scouts sitting at the back, decreeing your fate like a Roman emperor. Thumbs up, you're moving on to TV show panels. Thumbs down, it's back to Lowestoft Pier for another year with the rest of the fallen. I thought it was agreed. I thought it was a craft that toil and time and tiredness would make good on. I thought I would make it whilst I was young. And now, I'm hitting 40 and what? Halfway through my life? And what have I got to show for it? Bills, debt, sagging gut, kids, and a hairline burning faster than Icarus over the mountain. Didn't meet the right people holding the sharpest knife. We're truth-tellers, after all. Prophets. Comedians. Why shouldn't we make a joke about the gods? The kings keep their jesters, the crowds were laughing. All I said was, it's crazy the amount of parking tickets I got on my way up here from the underworld. My friend Persephone says apparently Demeter's not working. And then it happens. Out of the blue, something changes. The storm is circling. Zeus wants to see me, hear my set. They all want to talk to me. All the Olympians, the whole fucking family is coming to dinner. The whole sodden, ancestral, incestuous knot of them coming for dinner. My chance. Mortals just need one good night, that's all it takes, and they're set for life. Olympus is the limit. It's not too late. I can still make something. I can still begin something. Finally, at the ash end of my youth, I can be the one laughing for a change. And it will all happen just like it did for Dad. The gods leaning in, grins plastered, breath tied, eyes like whiskey over ice. Just hours to go, and they're sending through dietary requirements. You can't move for divine intolerances. beef salad, because cows are sacred this season, and poultry's a no-go in case Zeus recognises an ex-girlfriend. Ares needs plastic cutlery, and Poseidon will only eat fish if he gets to sleep with it first. Demeter's vegan, and Aphrodite doesn't do pork, which comes as a surprise to everyone, and Artemis comes up in hives whenever she has nuts in her mouth, which comes as a surprise to no one. The dinner would have to be something legendary, something for the ages. Oh, got another one for you. You know which Greek god was average at everything he did? Mediocrities. And that wasn't going to be me. And as I said, the boy wasn't my only son. He'd asked that night if he could help with dinner, and before he saw the knife, well, he was quite enthusiastic. I think he would have been happy, in the long run, to know he was the main event, the main course, the star of the show. That's all any of us want, in the end.